Heard you leveled up. I'm here for your trial.
What? What?
You gotta get your Colium Z.
What?
Well, good enough.
Hey there, Jellyheads, and welcome, YouTubers, to our Pokemon episode of Last Coin at the Arcade. I'm Luke.
I'm also Luke.
I'm related to Luke.
And I'm Kevin.
We're here talking about Pokemon with our resident Pokemon expert because the 7th generation of the game, Sun and Moon, came out just this week. And we're excited to talk about it. We've all been playing it.
Well, not this week.
Well, not all of us. So.
Yeah, not all of us.
It came out 9 weeks ago.
Yeah.
What's that?
It came out a week and a half ago.
Luke facts.
Last time I checked. Because right now we're coming up on Christmas, so it's been 4 weeks, right?
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
In real life,
Not yet on this
today,
Not
it's
either.
going to be December tomorrow, and we've been playing a week and a half, and we got a few hours under our belt, me and Lucas, and we have way more hours under our belt with our special guest here showing up this week and helping us move through the late game.
Yes.
It's a lot of pressure.
It's not.
Oh my god.
It's not too bad.
How late in the game are you, Julie?
Yeah.
I'm done.
You're done?
I
You completed
finished
everything?
It. I did all the post-game stuff and
Post-game stuff.
Yes.
So everything-
She doesn't mean done like she's the champion. She means done like she finished her Pokédex and has a shiny charm.
yeah.
For all those who think.
Now, when you say complete, you mean like you've seen every Pokemon, or you've caught every?
I've caught every Pokemon.
I've never done that.
So
I've
there's
never done that.
it's not everyone because there's 800 now, but there's 300 available.
Wait, there's 800
There's
Total.
There's 802 Pokemon
Yeah.
in?
total.
Because before, like sometimes they would exclude, like you couldn't trade with older ones and stuff.
You can trade with them all now.
Right now you can't. Right now, if the
yeah.
Pokemon's not available in Sun and Moon, you can't get it in. It won't be until January that they open it up to Pokédex.
Correct.
Well, then how have you gotten all 800?
She has.
She has
I
it.
haven't.
She's
I
got
don't-
every available one.
Yes, that's correct.
And how many is that? Like 340?
That's about 300. The dex is 300 even. So,
Okay.
So there are 300 that exist in the game.
correct.
Currently.
It's a lot of
Yes.
Pokemans.
Yeah. And soon they'll be opening up the global trading, right? There's like the trade exchange, which I forget what it's
Yeah.
called.
I've already wonder traded with some Japanese peeps.
Yeah.
But not that. There's like the library vault, right? That you could store your Pokemon
There's
in.
something called Pokemon Bank,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
that'll let you transfer your guys up from Gen 6, but that doesn't come active until January.
Yep. So that's
So-
what we're talking about when we say
Yes.
January. It'll be like Wild West. It's kind of cool because like it gives everyone an opportunity to actually get the Pokemon, and like there's this nice little lag period that people can do the late game
Yeah,
content
I really
before
like a
everybody
fresh
has
start.
everything.
In any game, it's really cool to put everybody on an even playing field and just have everybody start from zero
Yeah.
every now and then.
So me and Lucas are what 10 to
Yeah,
15 hours
we're
in?
relatively equivalently in. I think we spent about 10 hours each, and we're just playing the game in the very pedestrian sense, going through and getting our Z stones, finishing the trials. I'm a little cheating now because I got some bonkers Pokemon from Julie here, but
I just taught it TMs. Nothing crazy.
yeah, well they're good. They're real good.
they're
Having
good
80 or 90 base power moves early in the game is pretty bonkers.
Yeah, it is.
Can you reuse TMs?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. TMs have been reusable for a little while now.
Hey there, Jellyheads.
We fixed it.
And we're back.
We were gone?
Yes.
Yeah.
You broke our wonderful lighting. It happens.
He broke it.
He didn't prep.
So it's definitely true that each Pokemon game that I've played, at least, has made the game progressively more convenient for playing at the higher competitive levels. And
What do you mean?
So stuff like reusing TMs, right?
Oh, okay. So you can craft. It's like put in this guy with these.
Yeah, you no longer.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can just use your TMs. You don't need to worry about them. There's also move relearners now. You can spend heart scales to put moves back on Pokemon that have forgotten them.
Yep.
It's easier than ever to catch Pokemon with high IVs.
Yes, that's very true.
So, Julie, run us through what's new in Sun and Moon that we couldn't do before. That's like made the game better from a competitive standpoint.
One of the best things they've added in this game is they vastly improved the IV checker. And IVs are something on Pokemon. It's short for individual values, and every single Pokemon in the game has a different level of potential. And stuff you catch in the wild is usually inherently worse than stuff you've selectively bred. And it used to be really hard to figure out what the IVs on your Pokemon were.
Yeah, they have like secret number. Like
Yep.
Pokemon have 6 stats: attack, defense, HP, speed, special attack, special defense.
Yep.
And Pokemon have base values in those stats. Every species has their own base values. Pokemon have these secret IVs that modify those from, I think it's from like 1 to 16 points at level 50. And then you also have effort values, which grow your stats based on which Pokemon you've defeated in battle. So those 3 things together figure out what the stat line for your Pokemon is. And if you're playing at the highest competitive level, you want all perfect IVs because you want all the points that you can get from, and then you have a limited number of effort values you're allowed to distribute, and you want to hit certain breakpoints. Like, I need this much speed to beat this guy who I'm worried about beating on speed. I need this much defense to survive an attack from this guy who would counter me.
Yep.
So there's a lot of thought that goes into how to build a competitive Pokemon, what moves to give it, what EV spread to give it, and then there's a lot of work that goes into getting that Pokemon with perfect IVs so that you even have the opportunity to take them into battle.
Pokemon's pretty intense.
Yeah, the thing that I'm always amazed by is they thought about this Gen 1. Like,
Yes.
these existed in Gen 1.
That was the question I was going to.
And they were all
pitch
hidden.
next.
And in the last 2 or 3 iterations of Pokemon before this one, they started to make them more known.
Right.
Because they made... They added mini games to influence those values and easier to actually distribute them as opposed to going against the same Pokemon like 100 times over to get it to the right point.
And it's basically like there's the 2 systems that work are, we don't want every Pokemon to be identical. We want all the Charmanders to be a little bit different than other Charmanders, and that's how the IVs come into play. And then we want Pokemon that you have spent time with and trained to be more powerful than the equivalent Pokemon that you've just caught from the wild, and that's how the EVs work. Those are giving you a bonus for using your Pokemon repeatedly over time. And like now that the math behind these things is known, the competitive level players are gaming those systems to make them like as optimal as possible.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. It's still a little like under the rug. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not super apparent because like if a new player jumped in and saw this, they'd be like, "What even? Like,
Yeah.
why is this relevant to your playthrough?"
Yeah.
And it's not. It's not relevant to your playthrough. But like in an end game competitive standpoint, it's really fun to tweak those values.
Yeah, it's a perfect example of why a lot of people like Pokemon, because you, as a beginner, it's a really fun game just to play through, and there's different styles as a beginner. I mean, you can just go in and try to beat the game, you know, go through the battles. You could be a collector who gets every little nook and cranny type thing. You could be someone who just likes to play with your Pokemon, like dress them up or, you know, pet them and do that type of thing. Or on the other side of the more, you know, hardcore people, you can battle other users and get it to a point where these IVs and EVs actually matter and the depth is there. And the best part is it's hidden in just the right amount of ways where someone might see it and like those games and kind of try to figure out what more is there by looking it up online, but they're not shoving it in your face or causing it to be confusing to new users by forcing it on them.
Yeah.
So it works out really well.
And playing this game from a casual level, I think it's definitely one of the better Pokemon games if you're just going to do a playthrough. And like, I think it was really smart of them to finally step away from the system of 8 badges and 8 gyms.
Oh my gosh.
And do something that's a little more freeform.
Yeah.
And also the... I think it's a harder game than the other Pokemon games I've played. The Pokemon calling allies into battle when they're low on health means that there's a little bit of uncertainty there, and you can be put in a situation where even though your Pokemon is well trained and a few levels higher than the Pokemon you're battling, you can actually kind of be up against the ropes if you're not careful.
Yeah.
Calling on allies.
Yeah, so
You're talking about wild ones?
any wild Pokemon, if you get them on low health, there's a chance that they'll like cry out and call over to a friend, and then all of a sudden you're fighting 2v1 against the wild Pokemon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Could like a legendary do that?
No.
Well, can legendaries call other allies that aren't legendary?
No.
Okay, well.
It's a purely a wild Pokemon thing. But it can be really tough early game because you'll be like trying to lower its health to capture it, and then out of nowhere, it's like, well, now I got to battle both these things, and you can't capture any of them until there's just one in battle. So it's tough.
Right.
And there's no gyms, there's trials?
There's trials.
There's trials, and the trials are all different. Sometimes it's like beating a few trainers or winning a hard fight, but like some of the trials are kind of more minigame centric. Every trial ends with fighting a totem Pokemon, which is like it's kind of like a wild Pokemon, but they have like a special stat boost.
Yep.
And the totem Pokemon are pretty tough. Like even though my Pokemon have been consistently above level, and I have like TM moves that are like way better than what I should have at this level, I have lost a few fights against the totem Pokemon, either through like unlucky rolls and getting paralyzed or put to sleep, or like they crit on like the one Pokemon I have in my party that's strong against their type.
Yeah.
But
You got bopped by Lurantis last
yeah,
night.
Lurantis wrecked my face.
I think it's also different from my perspective because I picked a different starting Pokemon.
Yeah.
So when you said that, I was like, really? Because I've only gone through the first 2 trials. You've gone through the first 3.
No, I've done
Right in the-
7, 6, 7.
Seven?
I'm on the third. There's 3 islands. There's 3.
Oh, okay.
There's 3 trials on the second island, and I'm on the third island now. I've done a couple trials there.
Okay. So like I've only done 2 trials.
Yeah.
And luckily my Pokemon just happened to be have the abilities to be strong against those, and I
Yeah.
didn't notice a difference. So it's good that you.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You saw
like,
it.
and I think your next trial, you're either 1 away or 2 away from the fire trial, and that's gonna be tough for you because like you have a grass starter, so like you're gonna have to find somebody on your team that is has a fire advantage. Like for me, the only thing I had in the water trial was a Pichu, and like I couldn't.
You have really low health.
Pichu
and
has such a
defense.
small
Yeah.
health pool that I couldn't get it to evolve because it evolves based on happiness, and I kept
I struggled
fainting.
with that. Yeah.
Yeah, Pichu only evolves into Pikachu if it likes you a lot. And
When did this become a thing?
ever since Pichu's been introduced in Gold and Silver.
Yeah.
But
Gen 2.
like he loses
I
happiness.
mean, that was my favorite gen, and I still don't remember
funny.
that.
He loses happiness every time he faints in battle, though, and he faints all the time because he has no health. So like I
Yeah.
couldn't get this thing to evolve. It was garbage. And then like even it was my only electric type, which was strong against water. Like, I had like a few dark types on my team, but they weren't doing anything. So the water trial was pretty tough for me. It took like I ended up getting lucky and just using a Z normal move on my starter and. Not getting hit back because the Pokemon picked poor moves against me.
Is this like when I heard about the trials thing, and that just reminded me of that off season of Pokemon and the Orange Islands?
Yeah, it's actually very similar.
Yeah.
It has a nice feel to
I
that.
didn't watch it, so I don't know.
For what it was like the only region that didn't correspond to a game,
Yeah.
but now they were like, now there is. It's almost
Yeah.
like they did that.
Oh, and by the way, this
Backwards.
one's based off Hawaii, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
Alola.
So all the islands are kind of along those lines, and it creates a much different flavor to this game. I especially enjoyed just how it looks like out of combat. There's a lot of more interaction in this one with like full-size Pokemon on the screen that you're interacting with or riding in this one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Which surprised me when I first
Riding?
saw that. Yeah.
Yes, they got
Yeah.
rid of HMs in this game.
Right.
Finally.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have HM cut, HM fly, waterfall. You don't have to worry about that.
Thank
crap anymore.
God.
Yeah.
You just collect these ride
terrible.
pagers, and once you have the Charizard ride pager, you can just call Charizard and he flies in. It's like, where do you want to go? You know, you just pick a place and he
Yep.
takes you there.
Wow,
And You don't
okay.
have to have him in your team, so it's just like it's both nice thematically and nice from the point of view that like you no longer have to hamstring your team. I don't know what hamstring your team competitively in order to progress in the game. Like you can just build your Pokemon competitively the way you want them and not have to worry about
Yep.
putting like waterfall. Like waterfall's actually pretty good, but like stuff like surf and
Surf's pretty good, too.
Yeah.
all right, how about cut?
Cut's bad.
Cut's not
But
good.
yeah, this was my
So
first...
those aren't moves you can
They're-
fight with anymore?
They are gone now. Well,
You can get them.
You can still use waterfall.
Well, surface.
They turned a couple of the more useful HMs into TMs, so they're reusable. So I think that's where Waterfall and Surf is now. But a couple of the other ones like Cut and Flash, I don't even think you can get them anymore.
Oh, Flash, I hate
It's
it.
useless. You can only use it.
In the earlier ones, I just go through the caves in the dark and just be like, I'll get there eventually.
Yeah, I remember like classic Game Boy, you'd like sit next to a lamp and kind of like tilt
can see
in a
it, yeah.
direction and be like, well, I'll just do this. That's easier to do.
Well, you can see the
than
outline of the
HM.
walls.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this one, they continued the method of streamlining everything. In this one as well, similar to the last few, you get EXP share really early.
Yes.
Yes.
And it keeps your Pokemon relatively leveling up similar, like
also,
not perfect.
It also
but
just
close.
produces extra experience. The
Yeah.
guys you're fighting with still get the same amount they would have, but then it just distributes more free experience to the rest of your party.
Yep.
So I actually, as soon as I got my EXP share, I turned it off because I don't like it because I
Yeah.
think it's too easy.
Yeah,
It's really good, but
Yeah.
I think that's kind of low key the way they let you pick between
It is.
hard
It is
and easy. Yeah.
exactly. It is sort of like the difficulty selection. Are you playing with the XP share on or off?
Yeah.
And the other thing is when you have whether you have switching set to set or
Yeah,
I forget
that's
the-
really tough.
The default option on switching is that anytime a new Pokemon's coming into the fight, you get a free switch. But that's not how competitive battling works. So you can actually go to the options menu, switch to set, which means if you ever switch Pokemon, you have to spend a turn to get it, and then the Pokemon you switch into is going to get attacked without the ability to attack back. So I have mine on set and not the other one, which is probably also why I'm finding the tone of battles a little more difficult.
Yeah.
But it's like a much more interesting way to play because counter picking and switching is like a lot more in depth than otherwise would be.
how's the late game puzzles? Because there's usually a good amount. Were there any in this
they
one?
suck.
Puzzles?
The end game stuff. There's 4 island deities that you catch the end games. When you start out, you met Tapu Koko, and there's like 3 other Tapus you can go catch. And
Glen Coco?
Glen Coco. And the other stuff has to do with these new things they introduce in this game called Ultra Beasts, and they're very strange, and I'm not sure how to feel about them.
They're not Pokemon, right?
Well, they are though.
When they revealed Ultra Beasts, they used these weird cryptic names. They're like, oh, this is a new Ultra Beast. It's UBO2, Beauty. It's not Pokemon. And then you got in the game, and all of them have Pokemon names, and all of them are catchable. So it's like, how are they not Pokemon? That's a Pokemon. You can't just tell me it's not a Pokemon. It's silly.
No, these Pokemon aren't Pokemon.
Yeah.
They're special.
And it's,
Are they legendaries or do they?
they're not breedable, but they're not like
Do
Pokemon.
they have sexes even?
I don't think any of them have genders. No,
Okay.
They don't appear in like someplace in the wild, do they? Just like
They're
you just
all
see it
roaming.
and you.
they're roaming legendaries, so you have to
Oh,
walk through the
yeah.
grass. They're confined to a specific area though. You don't have to go all the way across all the Lola. So it's like, hey, like go find this guy. He's in the lush jungle. He's gonna be in there. So it doesn't take a super long time to
Okay.
fight them. But like from a design standpoint, they're very strange because they don't look like Pokemon. They're like very detailed and not that stylized.
Are they
Well, I guess
referred
not
to
that
as Ultra
stylized.
Beasts? In
Yes, they're referred to as Ultra Beasts.
Where do they come from?
They come from a different
They come
dimension.
from beast rifts or something.
Like that one, like that one Pokemon that lived in another dimension.
Yeah.
I don't know which one you're talking
That was
about.
like
but
Gen 5 or
who knows?
4. I
At
forgot
this
which
point,
one.
like
he
half
was,
of them
he
have
was
come
like
from space. Who knows?
You have to catch them with Beast Balls, and Beast Balls have like a 5x multiplier on Ultra Beasts, but they're terrible against regular Pokemon.
And you don't have to catch the Ultra
like-
Beast with Beast Balls.
You have like 10% the chance
Well,
of
you
catching
gotta
with,
catch
a,
them all.
with a Beast Ball.
True.
There's no Pokedex entry though, right?
But you
No,
can,
there's Pokedex entries.
Wait, what? Okay.
So they're Pokemon.
Yeah.
But they marketed
What-
them as not Pokemon.
That's
they're
crazy.
numbered too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're Pokemon.
But they're not. They're definitely not Pokemon.
How
Don't
does
call
how
them
does
that.
this how does this world
Who knows?
relate to the other regions in the Pokemon universe?
you mean, so like how the world that the Ultra Beasts are coming from? It's like an alternate dimension.
Like
you see like a,
even
you see
just
like a
even just
cracked-
this game in general.
Well,
it's just
so
like-
this game is just like these islands. The Alolan Islands are like, you know, somewhere in the world.
Well, they've
that's
explicitly
not-
said they're Hawaii, haven't they?
Yeah.
Well, they
Just like they
yes, they're
explicitly said
definitely based
Tokyo
on
was
Hawaii.
XY, right?
XY was
or-
France.
France,
Yeah.
yeah.
Tokyo is like
was
Gen
the
1
one
and
that
2.
was
There's one in New York
Manhattan,
City. Yeah, it's
yeah.
Gen
Yeah, New York
4,
City.
Sinnoh.
That's 5.
Oh, Unova.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
There's a lot at this point. Don't
But
worry.
yeah, I mean, everybody knows which
I-
ones are the right region. Though.
I
Like,
think
they're all based on
I,
real
I,
regions.
I definitely think it's smart to integrate regional flavor into the game. Like it makes it like feel
Yeah,
more
yeah.
like I don't know, when you draw from a real place like that, you get more culture and more like things that make it feel a lot more interesting than just like a flat game world.
Yeah.
That's true.
Now, when you're talking about endgame puzzles, were you talking about like Rocket Hideout, where you get bounced around on the
Yeah, that type of thing.
arrows
Because
and
they usually have
Yeah.
a little bit in each one.
And like the closest thing in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire was like the hideout with the teleporters, right? The like for me
Yep,
it was
yep.
Team Aqua, but I guess,
or ice puzzles in one of the previous games. Where you
yeah,
push
I
things
don't know.
across
Julie,
ice.
does it have anything like that? I haven't seen anything.
No, the post game in this one, you pretty much just backtrack to old areas, and it's just really the Ultra
That
Beast
sucks.
stuff.
I love
Yeah,
puzzles.
I agree.
Yeah, I kind of missed that
Because
aspect of the
it
game.
used to be like between like the 7th and 8th gym, or between the 8th and like
Yeah.
Final Four.
And because
Was it Final
they've
Four?
like
What do they call
they've super streamlined the gameplay in terms of like where like you're never confused on where to go or like lost in a cave.
There's waypoints.
Like the caves are all smaller. It's when it tells you to go somewhere, it's much closer to
Yeah.
you know. It's like it's never like, hey, you should probably go from this town to that town, and there might be a cave in the middle. See if we find it. You know, like it doesn't do that anymore. It's just like there's a guy over there. I can see him. You should talk to that guy.
Yeah.
You know, and so you go through all these cutscenes, and honestly, there's way too many cutscenes, like all the time. It's just
There's a
like,
good
okay,
amount, yeah.
I'm just reading about this stuff. but-
Especially when you first start out the game, it holds your hand really hard, and
Yeah.
I get it. I get that it's hard
Yeah,
to if
'cause
you're a new player. There's so much to know with
There's a
Pokemon,
lot, yeah.
but there needs to be an option like, hey, I've played Pokemon
Yeah.
before.
That would be
like,
really nice.
Get me through this,
I think
please.
as soon as you get to the second island, it really calms down a lot with the cutscenes, and like you get to play more at your own pace. But the first island is really heavy on it telling you to do stuff.
Almost the whole first island, I would say, is a tutorial. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, pretty close. I do like the individual islands and how they're set up because it feels like a more cohesive like unit almost. Because before it would just be like, oh great, I got to go to this route, and it felt like a lot more of just like almost linear. Now it feels like they just like let you loose on an island.
Yeah.
A little
Yeah,
more so.
they're not as the paths are not as linear. There's like
Yeah.
they're way more integrated, and like using Charizard to fly around, even though it works a lot like Fly from the old games, like it feels more natural, more like using the Eon Flute in the last game did. And I liked the Eon Flute a lot. I'm a little sad that it's gone, but it wasn't nearly as convenient as just like hitting a button and going to where you wanted to go immediately.
From a utility standpoint,
Yeah.
it wasn't great.
No, it
But
wasn't.
it's like, yay, you get to fly around.
It was from a flavor standpoint, it felt great.
Yeah.
And I did like finding like the little zones, the mysterious islands and stuff.
Oh yeah, those were fun.
It is worth noting that this is the second generation of Pokemon games in a row to have a strong emphasis on hold items. This time we have the Z Stones, whereas the last game was all about Mega Stones. And where Mega Stones let certain Pokemon evolve an extra time at the cost of using their hold slot.
Are they in here anymore?
You can still get
Okay.
them. They're not like part of the plot of the game. Like in the end game, you'll find people that'll just be like, hey, have all these Mega Stones, I got a freaking case of them.
See, to me, it's almost confusing to new users. They'd just be like, why do I get this?
Yeah.
There's so many things.
Yeah, there's so many niche cases.
Right. But
So, is this?
do you know what Mega Stones are? Have you ever
Yeah, I
played Mega
remember.
Stones?
When that generation came out, there was like, oh, what's this mysterious looking Mewtwo type thing?
Right.
It's like, oh, it's this Mega
Mewtwo.
Yeah.
So
Mega Charizard.
yeah, it was like if you like my Swampert had a Swampertite and let him evolve into Mega Swampert, which made him super badass. And it's just something you get to do for free. It doesn't even cost.
It
you
was
to-
only in battle, right?
in battle.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
But when they revealed them, they didn't make that clear. And
Yeah.
one of the first Pokemon they revealed it for was Blaziken, and Blaziken was already a very strong competitive Pokemon to the point where it was not legal in Smogon play. And I remember that I got a call from my boyfriend. And I picked up the phone, and he was like, "Hey, Blaziken evolves now," and I hung up the phone. I was really mad.
Yeah, Mega Stones turned out actually pretty alright. Like, they weren't totally busted. Using your hold slot is a real cost. And only being limited to one on your team means you need to make a careful decision about where your Mega is. And, like, definitely some of the Megas are way too good. Like, Gengar is incredible, and for various reasons. The Groudon and Kyogre were already busted, and then they got these Primal Mega Evolutions that made them even crazier.
Wait,
Yeah.
Those are the legendaries
Yeah.
from
Correct.
Yeah.
Generation 3, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And
They gave the legendaries essentially a
In,
mega
in
evolution.
Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby, they got like a second, like even more badass form.
But the best part is it didn't count as a mega evolution. It was technically a primal, so you could have a mega Pokemon on your team as well as one of the primals.
yeah, which was super
Even
stupid.
both primals, maybe? I don't even know.
I don't
it's-
think you can have both. I'm not sure. I don't know.
And now there's a Z thing. Is
So-
that the dark?
The Z things, when you complete these trials we've been talking about that they have instead of gyms, they generally award you with a Z Stone, and they have like very informative and inventive names like Normal Light and Waterite. Or they also start with Z too. Normal Light Z, Waterite Z, or it's
Watarium.
IUM, Watarium, Firium, Steelium.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and there's one for each type, and you give your Pokemon the hold item, and if they have like Firium Z, they get to use the Z Fire move, which is like a super high damage fire move, but you can only use it once per battle, and you can only have one Z Stone on your team. So it does kind of create this cool dynamic where it's like you can't give a Pokemon both a Mega Stone and a Z Stone. Z Stones come at a higher cost than Mega Stones because the Z Stone is a move that you have to use. You're not using another move. It's not like a free evolution the way the Mega Stones are. There's also a few Pokemon like Snorlax, Pikachu, and Mew have their own Pokemon-specific Z Stones. They give them a move that only they
Mew.
can use.
Yeah.
Yeah. No one has that one yet, so we
That's
don't
like
even,
an event one.
don't even know what it
That's
does.
on the
Okay.
DL.
But like Eevee has one where all the Eevee evolutions show up and they all like do a dance.
Friend power.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
And they're kind of neat. Like I think it's cool to be utilizing the hold item slot in a way that's high visibility for new players who probably don't even really care about hold items. And because it kind of like eases them into thinking about these things in a way that will like lead them towards the competitive road of like where they matter quite a bit.
Yeah.
And I also like the idea that like that's the design space they're using to like experiment with late game stuff now. So it's like you have these like they can add Z Stones and they don't break the game because it's like you can't have a Z Stone and a Mega Stone active at the same time. So it's not like exponential power increase. It's just more options.
Yep. Yeah, there's one downside of this game that I came across a few times. There's a significant amount of lag
Oh,
during
yes.
team battle, like multiple Pokemon battles.
Oh yeah.
There was been a few times where it literally just thinks. Like it'll still like rotate the camera, but it just waits for maybe like 5 seconds, and then it's like, oh yeah, I gotta do this thing.
You know what? I've never had that. Maybe it's because I'm playing off my SD card and I don't have a cartridge.
No, I don't either. I'm playing out the
really?
SD as well.
Okay.
And
Well,
I
I
have
just
a standard 3DS XL.
I haven't
Yeah.
been playing. I just haven't been paying attention then.
I have the new 3DS
Yep.
XL, and I still get the frame drops
Still get it?
on
Yeah.
specifically very taxing things. It's funny because there used to be triple battles and rotation battles
Yeah.
in the game as well, where there'd be 3 Pokemon on the field for each player, and those have been removed from the game, I think, because it was too taxing.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah.
Because it'll grind to like single-digit frames per second for me.
Yes.
So that is definitely a real cost that I didn't really expect because usually Nintendo first-party games are smooth as butter.
The polygon counts and the particle effects on a lot of the moves are like way up. From
Yeah, they are.
last
Right.
gen. Like things look a lot nicer, but yeah, it's definitely it's taking the hardware to the limit. I feel like the game was designed with like the idea that people were going to play it on the Switch in mind, and
I believe that.
they weren't
Yeah.
scared of pushing the 3DS like even past where it could handle.
And I haven't had any frame drops in the single battles, but like sometimes in the double battles, it's like, ooh.
Yeah, for me it's the double battles. In the single battles, I think when I have a water background, occasionally it'll do it. I'm not sure why, because like the water backgrounds aren't that dynamic.
Yeah.
It just does it. I think it's because it was raining plus the water background plus it was just like a lot of
Definitely.
things.
And the one that really irks me is the egg hatching screen. When you're hatching an egg, it lags really hard because they put all these nice particle effects on it. And I'm gonna hatch hundreds of eggs in this game.
Oh, God.
Every single time, I'm just gonna be like,
Do you actually have to walk out of game to hatch them or in game?
In game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wasn't sure.
You
"Oh,
can
that would be awful.
I know.
I
it
would be ripped.
Another thing they did great for new player, or not new, but competitive players, the daycare no longer gives your Pokemon experience you don't want to give them. So like your
Yeah.
Pokemon just
Okay.
stay at level 1 when you're breeding them, and you don't need to like worry about them learning new moves and erasing the moves that
Wait.
you're trying to pass down.
What do you mean stay at level 1? Then what's the point of putting them in the daycare if they don't
So
So
level
they can
make
make
eggs.
eggs. That's
Yeah.
what you use the
Oh.
daycare
That's
for,
all
bro.
the daycare's for.
Okay.
You don't put Pokemon in the daycare to level them up.
Who does that? That's
yeah,
silly.
that would be crazy. Why would anybody do that? Why? Who would even think that was a thing?
That is kind of weird because like I miss like I do miss like I think was it Gen 2 you could start making eggs?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I remember playing Gen 2 as a kid and being like, wait, there's an egg? How'd that happen? Like
Yeah, right.
being like it used to be a hidden thing
And
now it's just like
All right, got to start
okay.
making eggs.
yeah. So I kind of miss.
But they do have the bottle caps now, which
Oh, yeah.
can. So bottle caps, if you have a Pokemon at level 100, you can give them bottle caps to raise an IV in one stat to maximum.
Oh.
Yeah.
So bottle caps are time consuming to get, and leveling to 100 is really time consuming because there's no like super fast way to level in this game. Luckily, competitive battling's all leveled out to 50, so like the only reason to go much higher than 50 is if you need to like learn a high level move or if you want to battle cap your Pokemon. But there's also golden bottle caps that raise all 6 stats to 100.
Is there an unlimited amount in the game?
No, you can get an unlimited amount of bottle caps. They are time consuming to get, enough so that like breeding for IVs is still more time
preferable.
efficient.
Yeah.
But like if you have Pokemon you use in their playthrough that you want to be competitive, if you have like shiny Pokemon that aren't quite there, you
Yeah.
can use those Pokemon
Yeah.
now, and it's really nice to have a avenue to do that.
I've wanted
Yeah.
that for years. I wanted
Yeah,
them
'cause
to add this feature.
How many 4 and 5 IV shinies do you have?
So
Like,
it's so frustrating when you spend hundreds of eggs breeding a shiny. You're like, whoops, missed the attack IV.
you have a shiny Pokemon?
Yes. Yeah, I remember those.
I've never had a
Come on,
shiny
they gave
Pokemon.
you one essentially on a platter in
Yeah,
so
Well, yeah,
the Gyarados.
with the exception of
That
those.
counts.
yeah.
But everyone has those. I want a special one that's mine.
You will find
I've seen
one.
the video of the guy who freaks out about the shiny ponytail.
Oh. People make fun of that guy. Pure joy, though. That's the happiest person I've ever seen. Good on you, man. Okay, so I need to talk about how terrible IV checking used to be.
Yeah.
Because
Wait. Oh, okay.
no, go ahead. You
I
can.
heard you said IV and I thought EV, and I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Chicks are Eevee, yep.
Yeah.
It's an Eevee.
When you talk to a casual player and you're like, "Hey, do you do EV training?" They're like, "Yeah, I have Espeon." And I'm like, no, no.
That's not an Eevee, that's a Lillipup.
But the way that IV checking used to work is you would talk to a guy, and he would evaluate a Pokemon in your party that you just like clicked on, and he would just tell you the best stats, and you just have to like write it down. Like there would be no screen on the game that he would tell you IVs. He'd just be like, "Oh, the attack looks pretty good. So
That's
does the
fantastic.
speed. Yeah, that's pretty good.
It's decent.
yeah."
Oh, that's what that guy was for.
Yeah, he was checking your IVs.
Yeah.
So they got rid of that, and now there is just a button in your PC that you can switch to IV check mode, and you can just scroll over anything in your boxes, and it'll just show you a visual of all their IVs, and it's amazing.
It's the biggest update ever.
It was huge to me. Oh man, it saves so much time, and like I don't have to talk to that guy 1,000 times now. So
Man.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of the first like hour of the game, almost, I spent in the park that you can access at any time.
Oh, the festival
The
plaza.
festival.
Oh yeah.
And that was definitely like,
it's strange.
it's weird because like all of a sudden you're just there.
Yeah, and they don't really explain anything well. They're just
No.
like, yeah, go talk to some people.
Like a dream world.
Yeah.
Apparently that's where you get the bottle caps.
Yes.
What
There is
what
a-
stand?
What you want to do is you want to make someone who can give you the Treasure Hunt 2 stand your VIP. And when you put up the Treasure Hunt 2 stand immediately for like 100 festival coins or whatever, it'll always give you a bottle cap.
Okay.
And then you replace it with another stand
Yep, and
that's
then
50, and then you
redo
just
it,
redo it.
Okay.
You keep doing it. That's the way to farm bottle caps. But
So that's actually not too hard to farm.
yeah, it's like 150 festival coins a piece. you can farm them pretty efficiently that way.
Cool.
Yeah.
Seems so hidden and
So-
arbitrary.
I've had,
Yeah,
I've, had,
right?
I've had a few moments so far in this game that were pretty interesting. There's a totem battle with Lurantis,
Yeah.
like a bug type
It's pure grass.
pure grass. Okay.
It looks like a bug.
It looks like a bug.
Yeah, it's like a big. It's kind of like a Scyther but more feminine. It's like a big pink Scyther with like lady hips.
But they're not going to give it a bug. Okay.
Anyway, it's a grass type, but this like so I'm like I got fire type. I'm like I'm good. I can crush this thing. So I like use my fire move. I get the same type. It's the stab bonus. You know what stab bonus is?
Vaguely.
When you use a move that matches your type, you get 50% more damage. And so I get the super effective stab. I'm like I got this thing. I take it down to like 40% health, and then it just like it uses its regen move, which was synthesis. Gets like all its health back. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm just gonna keep fire type in this shit, and sooner or later it's not gonna use synthesis, and I'll just hit it twice in a row, it'll die. And then like it calls in an ally, and it's freaking cast form, and I'm like, cast form sucks. I don't need to do anything about this. Like whatever, cast form can do whatever. And then cast form uses Sunny Day, and I'm like, yeah, sure. And then he just uses like a one-turn Solar Blade on me, and just one hit KOs my Pokemon, the Lurantis. And it's just like, oh no.
So it's very funny to see you over there strategizing because you're like, all right, I have to kill cast form because Sunny Day's up. And then it'll take 2 turns to charge the Solar Blade.
That was the second time. That was the second time that I came back to after I got wrecked by it. I was like, okay, so we're gonna take down cast form, and then we'll have Sunny Day, no problem. We can handle this shit.
And then you did it. And you had the power herb anyway.
The fucking power herb. What the hell was that? So it had a hole in it to let it use Sunny Day in one turn, or use the Solar Blade without the fucking Sunny Day. So it's like. I took down the support Pokemon and it's just like, yeah, fuck you anyway.
Luke was losing his mind.
Oh, man.
That's pretty funny.
But then I oopsed a Leafeon in there, so it was all good.
Yeah. That was nice.
But yeah, to sum this up, I don't know. This is probably my favorite one I've played. It's the best in the series. They
keep getting better. They're getting better like a little slower than I want them to be.
Yeah.
Like each one's like
Always.
It's definitely better, but like I don't know if I could play every single game and still like muster this level of excitement. It's been a long time.
I still do every time.
I'm glad you do.
They come out every like 3 years, 4 years, so they're spaced out enough where I'm like, oh, time for Pokemon again.
Yeah.
This one, it's been 2 years since Oras on this one. 3?
Oras was 2013.
You're kidding me.
Oras? What's Oras?
Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire.
Yes.
We're
It's
getting
just
old.
an acronym. All right,
Sorry.
I see.
We don't got time for those full names. Just speaking them out.
What are they gonna do for the third version now? Is it gonna be like Eclipse?
I don't know. They haven't made a
Stars.
third version in a
Stars,
while.
yeah.
They didn't do a Z.
Yeah, you're right.
So.
I like
it might just
Eclipse.
not
That
have-
sounds.
I like Eclipse.
Go pitch him, Kevin.
No, they probably already got this under control.
Yeah.
They're professionals. I trust Nintendo more than most with like their own IPs. They don't mess up.
Yeah, they really have a passion for putting quality out on their games.
And they make them new enough where I'm still interested and it's not stale to me.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they don't reinvent the wheel and like ruin gameplay just to have something new. So I really like how much time and effort they put into like carefully crafting these games, because it feels like they are extremely detail oriented with these, and they've thought through so many things that I don't even think about until I'm actually in the game. Whereas there's other developers out there where I'm like, you can streamline this, you've done it for 3 games in a row, and it's still, insanely like your biggest holdback, and you still won't fix it.
It's like even for other series that are essentially releasing incremental upgrades to the same game every 2 years, it's like they miss obvious things. And Pokemon, it's like there's really not that many things left in the game that I think could easily be improved. Like I can't look at this game and just be like, what would be a better way to do this? Because like all the things that used to be like the low-hanging targets are gone. Like they've dealt with that stuff, and like
now most of the stuff is like behind the scenes type stuff or something that again I haven't thought about. Like the last Pokemon that came out, I'm like, how can they even do anything more with this one? So I'm glad that they have people that are smarter than me.
Smarter than you?
Yeah.
Smarter than Kevin.
Yeah. There's a lot of people smarter than me. You must be not smarter than me if you think that.
It's sort of amazing to me that there's no glitches in this game. Well, no, like, I'm sure there's, like, little stuff here and there, but, like, no glaring things, because there's so many things they have to add in every game now. Just to
and there's so many systems and, like, Pokemon types and moves. Like, there's so much in it that they've perfected, and they continue to make it better.
So many games that release these days are just super broken, and everyone's just like, well, they'll patch it, but like none of that. Like
that doesn't happen with Nintendo games.
We get like little technical hiccups, but like the game, everything it sets out to do, it does.
Yeah. The fact that I'm like, oh, the frame rate kind of sucks at these like very specific instances.
Exactly.
Like if that's my biggest complaint, like okay.
I don't know. I think I want to see Missing Number come back.
Missing now?
Missing number. Oh my god.
I want Missing now.
He's bird type, not flying, bird.
Really?
Yes.
It just says bird?
Really. He's the only bird.
Show him the bird. Give him the bird.
That'd be funny if like just as an Easter egg, it was like one of those computer Pokemon like Porygon just shows up like missing number. Yeah. Like what is going on?
It would be cool. I really hope they do decide to add him as a Pokemon someday. I think that would be a nice nod, and everyone would be like, cool. Like,
What, Missing No?
yeah.
Missing No is a Pokemon.
Well, not canonically. You can't.
It's a Pokemon.
Yes.
I can catch it in a
Yes, I agree.
Pokeball.
Evolve into Genghis-Khan.
Yeah.
Sometimes if it feels like it that day. But no, I think they should add it in the new gens. I think people would really like that. So.
Man,
All right.
I miss crashing my game.
Julie, is there anything else you wanted to say about Pokemon before we sign off?
Gosh, I don't know. That's a big question.
That's kind of a big question.
Thanks, young Neil. But I don't know. I don't have many nitpicks to say about it at all. I think trading online is still a little clunky. Hopefully they figure that out someday.
Yeah.
User
Being
accounts and friends would be better if they didn't use
Yeah.
code systems.
Being able to see IVs on the GTS would be a real big improvement.
Yeah.
That's like probably the next thing that I'm looking for from a competitive
That would
standpoint.
be nice.
Because like you can use online forums and find people to trade with, but it sucks that the system built into the game is really only useful for like trading legendaries.
It's true.
It's not you know, because like if you're trading Pokemon at a high level, you're looking for good IVs, and it's like it's hard to advertise that your Pokemon has good IVs, and it's equally hard to get stuff back that is on an equal value level. We just end up when we have breed rejects or breedjects as you call them.
Yes.
We just wonder trade whole boxes of them and
Yeah.
hope to get good stuff, and there's enough people doing that you do get some competitive other people's breedjects that like help you along, but to be able to put those things in the GTS instead and ask for like specific stuff and have that be like easily searchable and get stuff back, that would be really cool.
Yeah. It's kind of like if you threw a whole tin of muffins outside and you're like, maybe one will come back. That's like,
I really like this metaphor.
and that being the best method, it's like, well, I guess. I wish there was something better to do there. But
Yeah. Well, thank you, Jellyheads, for watching this episode.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed.
Last coin at the arcade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's next?
fun.
If you like what we have to say, check out the rest of our YouTube channel. Check out our podcast. We are listed on iTunes, the podcast app, Stitcher, and Google Play. We come at you just about every week with our take on games, gaming news, and some recommendations of what we've been playing and what we like to play.
Yeah.
We hope you like Julie.
Oh,
Yeah, she's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
She's aight.
I think I'll keep her in the
accept
family.
Come back. Well,
Yeah.
we need a recurring
yeah.
guest.
Oh, I'm going to come back and talk about ukulele. You just wait.
Oh, yeah, I will too.
Oh.
I have
Okay.
some things to say about that.
We got a uke
It's come up multiple times that you're the premier backer of that game.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
I can't believe you supported like half their budget.
Yeah. It was really hard to scrounge up that much.
No,
I live in a box now, but it's all
love-
worth it.
I love Banjo-Kazooie.
Oh, God,
it's
yeah.
one of my favorite games, and so I can't wait for it to come back. So
Me too.
that one I'm going to dive way more into way faster than Pokemon, because that's what I'm waiting for. What's the release date on that?
Q1 2017, so
Okay.
I'm guessing like March.
Yeah, they usually push it to the very last day of quarter one.
Yeah,
So, well, thanks,
right.
Jellyheads, again.
Yeah.
And happy holidays. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving and have a good Christmas. We'll see you next week before Christmas, but still.
Eat more food.
Keep it
Yeah,
psycho.
Bye.
There's another cat.